Yeah, that's the reason he's in here. That crocodile has always been in captivity, and you can see when he's hungry and he sees people, his first impulse is to go towards the fence, which is why he's in captivity today, just because it's not going to be safe for him or for us, for him to be out in the wild being that comfortable getting fed by people. He does have a snapping turtle in there with him. It is an alligator snapper. And the reason that he doesn't eat the snapper, because lots of people want to know why he doesn't just eat that turtle when he gets hungry, is he's not quite that hungry. The thing is, that turtle would be very big for him in the wild. He might try to eat that turtle if he had no other choice, if he was really hungry, but that turtle's pretty big, and he knows it. So he just waits for something that's a little bit more manageable. Now, we do have alligators and crocodiles here in Florida. The ones you see around here, though, are just the alligators. We don't tend to see crocodiles up in this part of Florida. If you want to see a croc, I'm trying to feed this turtle. He's not seeing what I'm throwing him. If you want to see a what is he doing?
I don't know. He's clung onto the crocodile.
I've never seen him take a piggyback ride before. If you want to see a crocodile, you really got to go down
Can you
to
get
the southernmost part of the state. They like to hang out around Florida Bay and Whitewater Bay.
Where's that?
Oh my God. That one's going to take him a little longer. Maybe this poor turtle can catch some food. Well,
where's Whitewater Bay?
Down at the southernmost part of the state.
Okay.
All that backwaters down there around Flamingo.
Okay.
Now, Freddie, our alligator, she's here for a little bit different reason. What happened with her is, are you going to come in the water? It's hard to feed her when she's not in the water. Hold on, let me, I got to stop talking because I can't aim and talk at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
See, this is why I never played sports in school. Oh, she's going to find it. What happened with Freddie, that was not very graceful, Freddie, is one day about 15 years ago, a little boy was out fishing with his father, and he discovered an egg. Without his father knowing, he picked the egg up and put it in his pocket and brought it home. And later on that day, he decided he wanted to see what was in the egg, so he broke it open, and out came what he thought was a lizard. He was in his room playing with his little baby alligator when his mom walked in, saw this alligator and brought it into our director. And like I said, that was about 15 years ago. Freddie's still here today because she's got a lot of trouble finding her food, and she gets her left and rights confused, doesn't see well. As you can see, even this is kind of challenging for her. I don't know where her problem lies. It could be in the fact that she was broken out of her egg before she was fully developed. It could be that the egg wasn't being incubated, because if this little boy found the egg, it means it wasn't in its vegetation mound. When Mama Alligator lays eggs, she lays anywhere from 30 to 50 eggs in a pile of vegetation that she has scooped up with her back feet, and she lays the eggs right in the middle of that. All that decomposing vegetation releases heat, which incubates the egg. So the fact that it wasn't being incubated properly also kind of makes me think that might be where her problem is. Maybe, and in all likelihood, it's a combination of the two factors.
Another rat.
Now, the interesting thing about alligators is that temperature that the egg is being incubated under determines the sex of the alligator. The ones that are incubated towards the top of the nest where it's warmer, 90 to 93 degrees, those are the males. The ones towards the bottom of the nest that aren't going to be quite so warm, about 83 to 86, those are the females. Anywhere in between, 86 to about 90 degrees, those are going to be a mixture of males and females. Now, kind of the interesting thing is with crocodiles, it's the split. The warmer ones are the females, the cooler ones are the males, and the ones in between are still mixed. So that's kind of neat. And that ensures an even distribution in the wild, and it ensures that they'll be able to survive because there will be equal numbers of male and female. Now, alligators used to be an endangered species here in Florida, not so much today. Today we do have over 1 million alligators in the wild in Florida, thanks in part to captive breeding programs that we've set up throughout the state. Alligators are now bred in captivity, just like any other livestock, and these captive bred gators were returned to the wild. They were released back out into the wild and used to repopulate our alligators. Now, she's having trouble with that one, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
She'll get it. Oh, you still got one in your mouth. That's all right. Always room for more. Now, understandably, quite often people get nervous if they have an alligator in their pond. But if you guys have an alligator in your pond, you actually don't have an alligator in your pond. What really is happening here is that that alligator has a person on its land, because they were definitely here before we were. We moved into their territory. They're trying to share it with us. We can share it safely with them if we remember 3 really important things. And first and foremost is not to feed them. You saw how the crocodile came right into the water when it was feeding time, and the alligator, when she's hungry, does the same thing. An alligator that's been fed by people is one that becomes a nuisance alligator, and is one that eventually ends up getting trapped and in many cases euthanized because it's very difficult to relocate large alligators. The other thing to remember about these guys is to keep a safe distance, not just from the big scary ones, but from the smaller mamas and from the babies, because mamas will protect their babies. They also protect their nests. They're really good mothers. Important thing is to let them do their job as mothers. Make sure we keep a safe distance from them. I bet you're going to like this one. Oh. And we really, truly shouldn't have any trouble with alligators in Florida. Every now and then, unfortunately, on the news we do hear about an alligator attack. I liken them to shark attacks. They're very uncommon. It's usually due to a case of mistaken identity. We all know we're not shark food. We're also not alligator food. I think the reason people are more, I think there's a bit more fear surrounding alligators. They're a little more intolerant, and I think that's because we encounter them on a daily basis, much more often than we encounter sharks. But the same holds true for both. Any questions about these guys?
Are the alligators missing nails for a reason?
You know, I have never been able to get a good answer to that. They're all the same. They're missing one, the outer one on the back, the outer 2 on the front, and honestly, I don't know why. My guess is that they used to have them, and they just lost them over the years because they serve no purpose.
Okay.
So just in the course of evolution, they just didn't need them anymore, so they started to atrophy. Let's try that one. Yeah, see, she's just sitting there looking at them. She's like, I know I want to eat them. I just can't figure out how to get them. Now, if you notice inside... Oh, did it crunch? One time I was doing a talk at Grassy Waters, and I don't know if you guys have been to Grassy Waters, but they had this pavilion right on the water, and I had all these animals out, and all of a sudden, this alligator, this huge bull gator, comes out of the water, gets this turtle, I mean, it had to have been this big, in its mouth, and just crunch, and it just echoed across the pond.
Oh.
That was way more interesting than any of the animals I had brought with me, let me tell you. That was pretty fascinating.
You didn't bring the turtle, right?
Yeah, fortunately, mine was still in its kennel. They're slowing down now. He's still working on that fish. And it's interesting because in the winter, these guys really weren't eating very much at all. How hungry they are really is determined by the water temperature. When the water temperature drops below about 73 degrees, these guys slow down, if not stop eating completely. This cold winter that we just had, they rarely